Hey everybody, I'm Beth,
And I'm Kayla.
and it's time for another episode of Coffee Break with the
Chamber
Chicks.
Chicks.
Your favorite Chamber Chicks.
That's right. Just in case there's any confusion, we want you to remember we're your favorite.
It was us all along. So, one of the things, sometimes you get to talk about good things over coffee breaks, and sometimes you talk about some really hard stuff. Today's topic's really hard stuff. So we're going to talk about inflation and how that affects your business, and it's painful, and we know it is. And so we're here to give you some tips and some things. We've talked to a lot of organizations, we've gathered a lot of data, and here are the 7 things that we think can help you with fight inflation in your business. And a lot of these you may remember from our conversations around COVID. These are very similar things. Our first one is assessing your overhead costs. You have to know what you're spending on things. And can you control those in any way? Can you adjust what you're buying, when you're buying it? Those are some things you have to take a moment, and I know none of us really likes it, but your budget's important right now. You need to understand what's coming in and what's going out, and the best way to help you succeed is you got to start by knowing what you're spending. To do that, you really have to do your second tip. You really have to assess your real-time inventory. Know what stock you have. Would it help you to buy more stock? If you had more of your inventory, could you take advantage of some free port tax exemptions? Are there other ways that you can lower your overall cost per good or item by having a good assessment of your real-time inventory? Another one, and this one's hard, it's controlling your labor cost. And that's been such a hard thing for us for a lot of years in White County. But one of the things I would like for y'all to consider is, what does it cost for you to recruit to fill a new position? Now, nationally, the rule of thumb says about $5,000 per position, but if you have some high-level positions, it could be 2 or 3 times the cost of the annual salary that you're filling that position for. You could have a $60,000 position that costs you $180,000 in recruitment, between hard cost, slower productivity, just wear and tear on other folks in your organization, because some things just have to get done. So really pay attention to your labor costs. One of the ways you can do that is making sure that you're focused on retention, making sure that you're really investing in your people. We'll have subsequent other coffee talks, particularly on HR. So I invite you to come back and listen to some experts in that field. But retention is a great way to control your labor costs.
And I think too, going along with retention and going along with the recruitment costs, when you have good people that love their job, then they tell their friends, come work with me, it's fun.
Come work with us.
Or, we like this about our job. And so, the more your employees like to work where they work, you will subsequently attract other people through their circles sometimes.
And that's by really being conscious of your culture.
Mm-hmm.
We have, of course, in our talent pipeline management program, we meet with a lot of you guys, and I heard it all day yesterday was culture, 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 culture. Even if they're recruiting to fill a position, if that candidate doesn't fit in the culture, it doesn't matter what the resume says. Mm-mm. You got to have a good fit. So if your culture is good, that will help with retention. Mm-hmm. Talk to your people. All of that is just relationship building. Yeah. And I think that's a good thing. And it's called work for a reason. Everybody has parts of their job that are difficult because it's work, right? So making sure that you're focused on your culture, and I think most of our businesses really do.
Yeah.
I mean, we have some great. You think we can shout out to some of the ones we really, really great?
I think we should shout out some people who we think have great culture.
We're looking at you, Nofo.
Amazing culture.
Farmhouse Coffee.
Farmhouse, amazing. Yes, for sure.
Georgia Power.
Yeah. Y'all have amazing culture. I love to go to our leadership day, the utilities day, because you talk to people at the power plant and you say, how long have you been here? 40 years, and I
Or
wouldn't
more.
have even guessed you're 40 years old, honestly, but okay.
HEMC, you guys are serious about your culture there. And many more.
Many. I
yeah.
think that's one of the things that's amazing about a lot of our businesses in White County they are really tight-knit group of people.
Yeah. A lot of our banks. Mm-hmm. A lot of our banks have absolutely great culture, great places to work because we're all working together for the same goal. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to say, personal preference, really love working at the chamber.
Same.
We have a lot
The
of fun.
most fun.
We do. We have the most fun. We talk about controlling labor costs, but retention, making sure that what you're doing is creating a good culture and that you're really listening to your people because not everybody needs the same thing. Benefits may be as different as the kinds of people who work in your organization. So just be open to that. That's what I would encourage you guys to do. The next thing, our fourth item, is we're encouraging you to streamline your product and services. Do not offer everything to everybody. What do you do best? If you've sat down with a one-on-one with Kayla and I, what's the first thing I ask them? What do you love to do?
Mm-hmm. What do you love to do?
Because you're going to be successful at the thing you love to do. What service do you do really, really well? What product do you make that's absolutely mind-blowing? Focus on those things.
And don't spread yourself too thin because, everyone has to do some things that they don't love to do, but at the same time, you can't be everything to all people. So we don't need to be offering things that are just too far outside of our scope and costing us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the more inventory you have to keep, the more knowledge for whatever various services you're offering, make sure that you're efficient in those. Because the more you offer, the more you have to have on hand to do that with. And speaking of banks, which we did, always, always, always have a personal banker. Always, always, always have a couple. Bank at several banks. But make sure you have a relationship with your banker. I know the Federal Reserve Bank said that they were going to anticipated lowering the interest rates 6 or 7 times this year. Do you know how many we've had, Kayla? Talk about this.
How many have we had,
How
Beth?
many have we had? 0.
Dun, 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 dun.
0. And now they're saying in this last quarter that there may be next quarter. Well, you've said that all year, Federal Reserve Bank.
We're still waiting.
We ain't buying it. That being said, we have great community banks here. Yeah. And while we can't really impact the Federal Reserve today, we can.
Beth might get it. Come by our office and have coffee. We'll tell you about that.
Challenge accepted, right? While we can't really fix the Federal Reserve Bank, the interest rates today, you can work with your local banker. There are lots and lots of small business loans, or you can restructure your loans, or you can just make sure that you're carefully budgeting and talking to your banker. I cannot imagine going through COVID without a personal banker. It was amazing. I mean, some of these folks just worked diligently to make sure that our businesses were agile and could pivot and had the cash flow that they needed to stay afloat. And those guys have not forgotten that. They have always been that way. They've always supported your small business, so make sure you visit one of our local community banks. I'm not going to call one over the other because I love them all. So, the other thing is strategic pricing. So just like you have to have a streamlined product and service, make sure you know what it costs for you to produce that good or service. Mm-hmm. How much time are you spending on an item?
How much gas are you spending to get to a job?
We have a lot of service people that say, well, I'll just go work wherever. I'll go work anywhere, North Atlanta, South Atlanta, wherever. Can you really afford to do that? Are you really understanding what it takes to deliver your product or service? Make sure that your pricing reflects what it really takes to deliver it. And the final thing I think is just to diversify your supply chains, to make sure that you can get what you need to do business from a couple different sources. A couple reasons why. There may be supply chain disruption, so you need to be ready to move to another supplier, or you need to price. You need to have look at their pricing and make sure that you're getting the best price for the inventory that you have on hand. And you can only do that if you know who to reach out to and get those supply chains. We'll give an example. We used an example of a bakery one time. It's a lot more expensive to go buy your flour from Walmart than having an arrangement with a food service provider who's bringing that in and making sure that you have the most economical products to be able to produce that muffin at the end of the day.
Because then that goes back to your strategic pricing. So,
yep. And all these things work together. I would love to sit down and talk to y'all if you'd like to have some other further in-depth conversations about your particular business. We love to talk to you at the chamber. But those are like the 7 things that you can do right now. The sad thing is that the effective inflation since January of 2021 is 22.2%. That's effectively double taxing your business. So if you're not paying attention to these 7 things, you're really missing out on an opportunity, and we don't want to see your business hurt.
Yeah,
so
for sure. We want you to thrive and not just break even. We
Yes.
want you to make lots of money.
Yeah,
Lots of money.
We really want you to make lots and lots of money. That being said, we're here to help. We don't always have the answers, but man, we know some people who do. We have friends who know lots of things.
Yes.
And if there's any piece of data that we can help you to make a business decision, we're here for that too.
Yep.
So,
Just like a popular sitcom, we'll be there for you.
and if you know me, you know I love Friends. And no one's played in a fountain yet, but the day is not over.
Is this a foreshadowing? Perhaps. Who could say? Too soon to tell.
Anybody have a vintage couch I can borrow? Orange, preferably.
Not a joke. If you have one, call us.
We're here for you.
The number is flashing at the bottom of the screen.
Like we're so crazy. But we wanted to share one of the things we always end our podcast with was what's our favorite chamber thing to do. So Kayla, what's your favorite chamber thing to do?
My favorite chamber thing to do, aside from just, getting to know the businesses and stuff, is the business block party. It's fun.
It is so much fun.
It's fun. But also I love that the businesses get to make very organic connections with each other and with people in the community. So it's not just, hey, take my business card and my flyer and this and that, but you get to have casual, organic conversations. Everyone's just having fun and just enjoying life, and it's not so salesy.
It's not so salesy. And it's just, that's who we are in White County. We're neighbors, right? We're neighbors doing business with neighbors, and I think Block Party is a good one.
Yeah. What's your favorite?
So I used to think that the Day at the Capitol was my favorite. Because we take folks down to advocate specifically for their business, and we set up meetings with legislators and things like that. But my new favorite is the DC Fly-In. The DC Fly-In is my favorite for similar reasons, but that's probably my favorite chamber event. But I just love our members. I just really love the people that we get to work with. At the end of the day, that's my favorite part.
I know.
But we also get on a plane and we go.
Yeah. We said in our promotional video on the first podcast that we did, on the pilot, we said that, our office door is a revolving door, and that's not a joke. It is, people are constantly coming in and out, and I love that.
And we love it.
I love it. I love to get, and it's someone new every day. Just today we had probably 3 different members in the office today, and it's just so good to see everybody and to talk to them a lot and hear what's going on in their world.
Yeah, and get to know your business. We make better decisions. We know how to help you the better we understand your business. So
and better understand you as a person. So
there's that.
We love you as businesses and friends. So
yes.
Cheers to you.
Yeah. Come have coffee with us.
So I guess
That's really all we have.
got, so.
I mean, there's no plan for this. We just wanted to address some
Pretty
things.
cash.
Yep. But thanks, y'all, for tuning in. And join us next time. We have more content coming for Coffee Break. I keep calling it the wrong thing. Coffee Break with the Chamber Chicks. And we always have coffee going, right, Kayla?
Yep.
Ciao,
Cheers.
Catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.